everyone, I'm Fernanda, and as you can see from the title and thumbnail, here's part 2 of me redesigning the WINX Club Reboot girls. In this video, I'll be doing Tecna, Musa, and Aisha, plus a bonus character, so I hope you look forward to it. But before that, I want to talk about something I learned while researching more things about the reboot. Apparently, AI was used during the production of this show, especially in the concept art of it. Obviously, as an artist, I hate the use of AI, and so although I did finish watching the reboot, I want to make it clear that I do not support AI use. Plus, let's just say that I was pulling a Luffy while watching the reboot, so hopefully that makes things okay. And it definitely helps me feel better about the criticisms I have about this show. Although I do feel bad for the real artists working on this. But now that I've talked about that, let's get right into the redesigns. The first character I'm doing is Tecna. I'm gonna be honest, when I was younger, Tecna used to be my least favorite out of all the WINX Club girls. I'm pretty sure it was purely based on her fairy outfit though. As a kid, I was not the biggest fan of it, but I'll get more into that once I get to that design. For now, let's talk about her character. Tecna's extremely intelligent and is the fairy of technology. She's always thinking logically, which sometimes gets in the way of how she expresses her emotions, but as she gets closer to the rest of the WINX, she starts becoming more open with them. She's also like this in the reboot, but a bit more exaggerated in my opinion. She kinda seems out of touch with understanding people's feelings and even had a scene that shows her almost being new to saying thank you.
I've been told to say thank you after a compliment, so thank you.
I guess she's lived most of her life through logic, but I mean, come on, I feel like knowing when to say thank you should be something pretty obvious. Or who knows, maybe she's always been like this in both series, but I just never realized it. I do like that they made her struggle to understand people's emotions part of her character though. Like, there's a scene where they get put into a simulation that shows them their greatest fear, and hers is that people think she doesn't have emotions, which I think is a nice part of her character. Can we talk about that for a second though? Like, why is there a simulation that shows you your greatest fear? Like, they're just exposing that in front of everyone. Let's move on though. I had a lot of ideas for her fairy outfit, but not so much for her civilian one, and so I kept it pretty simple. I'm not too mad at it though, cause I feel like Tecna would prefer being in something comfy, and I still really like the results. They both have her purple and green color scheme she wears in the original series, along with a plain white top. I was going to put more blue in it like what she wears in the reboot, but I feel like her purple and green color scheme is just too iconic to take away. Oh, and I gave her a ponytail just cause I thought it was cute. And so here's Tecna's casual design. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I had a lot of ideas for her fairy form. Since she's the fairy of technology, I knew I wanted to do something based off of that, and then it hit me. Cyberpunk. For those of you who don't know what cyberpunk is, it's basically like a genre based on a dystopian future where lots of high technology is seen and used. I thought this would be perfect for her, and so I went into Pinterest to look for some ideas, and they were all so good I wanted to do them all. But as I continued scrolling, my eyes landed on this girl in particular who I thought would be a perfect reference, and so she was a huge inspiration for her final look. I of course kept the purple and green color scheme she has, but added a few blue accents to it as well. And to tie back to her being the fairy of technology, I drew a sort of circuit wiring design onto her clothing. I'm not really sure what it's called. I honestly think she might be my favorite fairy design I've done out of all the girls. I'm obsessed with her. Next, I'm doing Musa, who is the fairy of music. In the original series, Musa was the most tomboyish of the group, I guess you could say. She wore more of a streetwear outfit and had a strong attitude, but with a sensitive side at times. Her sensitive side is still seen in the reboot, but I feel like they got rid of her more punk-like attitude. It's not bad though. And unlike the others, we do get sort of a Musa-centered episode, and the reason why I say it's sort of Musa-centered is because she shares the spotlight with Bloom in that episode. Which I guess is understandable since Bloom is the main character, but I mean, it would have been nice to see it fully focused on Musa. Or at least let her be the main singer. I don't know why that position was given to Bloom when she had no interest in music to begin with. Well, at least one good thing came out of that episode. Riven and Musa were actually seen to have a healthy start to their relationship, unlike in the original series. Although I don't understand why Musa seemed to be upset at Riven when he greeted her.
Oh, hi Musa.
I'll catch up with you guys later.
Your friend is acting weird.
That scene sort of made it look like Riven had done something bad in the past to upset her, since Aisha tells him that he should understand why she does the things she does.
It's fine, Riven. I'm sure a smart guy like you can figure out why she does what she does, right?
Well, at least the episode ended pretty well for them, which I will admit was pretty cute to see, but that was pretty much the last time we see them interact, so the moment was short-lived. Moving on to her civilian outfit though. I actually like her design in the reboot. I don't think it's that bad, and so I kept some of the aspects of that in my design. The shirt stayed pretty similar, but I did give her baggier jeans and made them blue instead of pink. This also might not be too noticeable since I am drawing her by herself, but I decided to make her the shortest of the group. I don't really have a particular reason for it, I just thought it'd be cute. Now it's time for her fairy form. Like the others, there's quite a lot I changed from this. I wasn't a big fan of her outfit since it just felt kind of random to me, and so I simplified it a bit while still keeping the hot pink as a main color. I did redesign her to look more similar to her old design she wore in the original series. I gave her shorts instead of a skirt though, and gave her leg and arm warmers with music note designs on them. And as for her hairstyle, I changed it into a more sort of messy bun look. Don't get me wrong, I think the braids are cute, but I just like the way the buns looked more on her. One thing I did really like about the fairy design she has in the reboot is her wings. I think they're really pretty, and so I referenced them a lot in my design. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm keeping all the girls' wings pretty similar but with details that match them. And so I wanted to combine both her reboot wings along with mine, which I think I executed pretty well. Now for our final wings girl, we have
Aisha, Fairy of Waves. You'll see my name on the food in the fridge.
Yep, it's Aisha. And trust me, I was just as confused as you are with her introduction. As you can see, some of the girls are given really weird dialogues which don't sound natural. In the original series, Aisha has always been the most athletic out of all the girls, but I feel like this was really amped up in the reboot. They do go into her love of dancing though, which is something her parents hate since they think a princess should dance more ladylike. And disappointing her parents is actually one of Aisha's fears in the reboot. Her parents are very strict and want her to behave like what they consider to be a proper princess. I'm pretty sure her parents were actually really nice and supportive in the original series though, so I'm not really sure why they changed that. But to be fair, they changed a lot about her compared to the original. And I'm not talking about just her character. Aisha was actually introduced in the second season of the original show instead of being an already existing character attending Althea. She was also introduced along with the Pixies, who don't seem to be present in the reboot. It's whatever though, I'm guessing they just wanted to have all 6 girls already introduced. Something I also realized though is that Naboo isn't in the reboot. For those of you who don't know who Naboo is, he was Aisha's love interest in the original. Instead, I think that this guy's supposed to play that role now, although I'm not sure since we don't really see a lot of him. I don't think they even mentioned his name. But anyways, let's talk about her civilian outfit now. I definitely leaned more towards outfits she wore in the original series rather than in the reboot. I gave her a sleeveless hoodie with a skirt and kept her leg warmers she has in both shows. I really like the way she turned out. I think she looks so pretty. When it came to her fairy outfit, I actually had a very different idea than what she wears in both the original and the reboot, which I was really excited to try out. Since she is the Fairy of Waves, I decided to go for a sort of beach and ocean inspired look. So her outfit is very flowy and similar to something you'd wear at the beach, but not like in a bathing suit type of way. Throughout the original series, her main color went from green to a sort of turquoise color, which isn't bad since she is the Fairy of Waves. But I've always liked the green color on her too, so I put both of them into her design as well as a bit of pink to reference her ability she uses called the Morphix. Morphix is a pink fluid substance which she would use in the original series. However, in the reboot, it looks like her abilities are purely water-based. And so with that in mind, I also made her wings look liquidy with a water effect around them. Plus, I gave her a lot of pearl accessories just because I think they looked really cute and added a nice touch to her outfit. I'm really happy with how she turned out. It's pretty different from the outfits she's had before, but I still really like it. And now it's time for our bonus character, Diaspro. She was a character who was suggested to me, which I totally understand cause she's definitely one of the most hated designs out of the reboot. I kept seeing redesigns of her all over Twitter, which I totally understand. I think the main problem with her is her hair. It's just so tall, it ends up looking weird. She's also made to seen as really mean and annoying, which I'm guessing was to make Bloom seem like the better option for Sky. Don't get me wrong, she was always mean even in the original, but to be honest, I can't really blame Diaspro for hating Bloom in the reboot since she is actively trying to get with Sky, knowing that him and Diaspro are dating. It just makes Bloom seem like a homewrecker, which wasn't the case in the original since Bloom had no idea that Sky was engaged to Diaspro until later on. So I don't know why they decided to have Bloom already know about their relationship. Either way, we don't really see a lot of Diaspro since she isn't a main character. She's just there to play the role as Bloom's love rival and is meant to cause drama between Bloom and Sky's relationship. Anyways, for Diaspro's redesign, I still kept her big hair, but not as exaggerated as in the reboot. I gave her simple but classy clothes with some jewelry since I actually learned while searching her up that she's the Fairy of Gemstones. I did not know this, so it was nice to learn. I also made red a more prominent color into her design since I feel like it's just too iconic. Diaspro's fairy form is actually something we don't really see fully, unlike in the original series. The most we get is a half-body look of it and a very low-quality shot of her full outfit. But from what I can see, I don't really like it either. Her hair is of course really tall and she's given a more purple color palette. I decided to keep the ponytail in my design just to see if I could make it work, and although I did struggle with it, I don't think it turned out too bad. I added way more gemstones into her outfit since I feel like she would try to show it off, and gave her knee-high boots. I think she turned out super pretty and way better than her reboot design. I really don't know what they were thinking with her look. I understand she's supposed to be an unlikable character, but that doesn't mean she can't look pretty. In the original, Diaspro looked gorgeous and was really fashionable. Reboot Diaspro just looks eh. So I'd like to think that I improved her design. And since she is the last character I'm redesigning, I feel like I might as well talk about my final thoughts on the WINX Club reboot. The ending was alright. The reveal of Damien being Bloom's twin brother was pretty obvious, but I still don't understand why they added him since this was supposed to be a girl-centered series, but oh well. The ending didn't really have me wanting more, so if they ever come out with a second season, I most likely won't be watching it. And those are all the WINX Club girls redesigned. I'm so happy with how these all turned out. I think these are definitely some of my favorite drawings I've done lately. It was a lot of fun revisiting this franchise, and although watching the reboot wasn't fun, I did start re-watching the original series, which I have been enjoying way more than the reboot. And so I hope you guys enjoyed my redesigns as well. Let me know if you guys have a favorite, and as always, I hope you have a great day.